We have conducted an experiment to examine the role of an anchor during the roll cast. There are claims the anchor loads the rod during the delivery stroke, and we filmed casts in slow motion off the water and on it to examine the relationship between the anchor's behaviour and the bend in the rod. We have found an anchor does not significantly contribute to the bend observed in the rod. Indeed, the comparison of roll casts on the water and on slick surfaces demonstrates an entirely different benefit. An effective anchor limits the tendency of the fly to move towards the caster. The first experimental cast is conducted on a slick surface, providing minimal friction on the fly line, leader and fluff. The experiment is based on innovative work by Ita Coteron from Spain, and our setup is 40 feet of line from reel to fluff, filmed at 240 frames per second on an iPhone 16 Pro. Newton's third law of motion tells us that if the anchor exerts a force on the rod to bend it, then the rod must exert an equal and opposite force on the anchor. If an anchor on the water bends the rod, then the roll cast performed on slick surface would have the anchor slip when the rod bends or loads. Since a bent rod would be delivering force against the anchor, if the rod exhibits its maximum bend and begins to straighten without moving the anchor on a slick surface, we can infer that the anchor was not instrumental in resisting the force delivered through the rod. In fact, we observe the first movement of anchor on a slick surface only when the rod is nearly fully straightened or unloaded, as the delivery loop forms at the rod tip. When the loop forms in a roll cast on a slick surface, the anchor accelerates towards the caster. In this case, the fluff travels more than 4 feet behind the reel. Indeed, we also observe slackline near the rod tip at this point in the cast, when no effective anchor is provided. Friction provided by water in a regular roll cast stifles this rearward movement, allowing an effective delivery loop to progress through the line to transport the fly to its destination. In this 40-foot roll cast on water, we observe a similar sequence of events to that seen earlier, wherein the rod is nearly fully straightened or unloaded before the fluff moves towards the caster. As we observed earlier, the rod is nearly straightened before we observe movement of the fluff. That is, the rod is unloaded before the anchor experiences significant force. The fluff only significantly accelerates after loop formation when it travels about 18 inches towards the caster before it leaves the water and is transported towards the target. These casts, captured in slow motion, demonstrate that anchor plays no significant role in bending the rod. When performed on the water, the anchor limits the rearward movement of the line.